Hey everyone, welcome to this week's recap of The Celebrity Apprentice.
Thank God Andrew Dice Clay is bada bing gone.
Thank God.
Yo, did I happen to tell you let us sold out Madison Square Garden like 3 times?
Yeah.
Or 100?
So after the long recap that we fast forwarded through, because we weren't sure if it was a repeat of last week.
I know!
Joan delivered her check for God's Love We Deliver.
It was very touching.
I shed a tear. Or
I did.
A few, actually.
I was close.
I cried.
So Erin Burnett is the guest executive this week. I guess Ivanka's not there.
CNBC, represent!
That's right. So the focus this week is Zappos.com.
Shoes, handbags, and apparel.
That's right. They're not just shoes. So Tony, the CEO, was there, man of a few words.
Yeah. Well, the task this week was to create a costume and a 4-page comic to represent the customer service of Zappos.
Right, because they're all about the customer service. Mm-hmm. And shoes, bags, and apparel.
So the project managers for this task, for the women, Khloe Kardashian.
Right, for the men, Scott Hamilton.
All right.
So the winning team's going to get $20,000 for their charity.
Well, for the project managers' charity.
So there you have their meeting with Tony and Melissa Rivers. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, so what kind of girl you like? Do you like a blonde or do you like girls? And the guy was just like, it's not about me, stupid. It's about the customer.
Oh, Melissa.
And then when the men met with them, it was like Tom Green was trying to ask him questions. I mean, valid questions, and he was just like, "Who the hell are you?"
The guy had no sense of humor. First of all, Tony.
Yeah. No sense of humor and, like, did not know how to deal with people.
No,
I guess that's why he's an online retailer. But the ladies had their powwow, and it kind of went like the, it was like a free-for-all, first of all. And then Joan stood up and said, hey, I think we should get a midget. Because we could say that the thing is long on service, short on frustration. I know. The power could be she never sleeps. I don't know. I think I should write it. I don't want Annie to write it because I've written like 1 million plays and they were on Broadway too. Can you imagine who could make such a thing up?
My mother is such a successful writer. She's been nominated for like 14,000 Emmys and she's won like 20.
Come on, Melissa. Come on. Stop it.
She's written Broadway plays and Annie is dumb.
Hey, where's the costume designer? Because I gotta know something. I gotta know if he's straight or gay.
I know.
All right, that was insane. Why?
It's true though. She is an award-winning writer.
She is. She's a very good writer.
She should have written the script.
Yeah, so it was pretty stupid that Annie was like, I'm writing. What do you think, Joan Rivers is stupid? Her face doesn't move, but something's going on in there.
She's a genius.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, on the men's team, Dennis wants a transvestite.
He was coming up with some wacky ideas.
And they said Tom was coming out with some ideas. I think Dennis Rodman was, like, off the wall. And gay is hot right now. Just because you like to dress up in wedding dresses and women's clothes doesn't mean everybody else does.
Yeah, so each team got an editor and an artist.
Right.
So they showed up and they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and the men's team couldn't offer them anything. I don't know how much they actually did for the men's team because they had nothing ready.
I don't know.
Because Scott was so crappy at controlling his team.
And Dennis and Clint were arguing.
Clint was arguing with everyone.
I'm not liking Clint.
I'm not either.
He's got like this smug look on
He's
his
got
face.
a dark side. And I see it now.
Yeah.
So the ladies come up with their character. It's called Mizz Z.
That works.
And Melissa came up with it's not just a dream. It's Zappos.
So, Donnie Trump Jr. showed up, and he was like, all right, who came up with the idea? It's pretty good. And Melissa was like, I did.
I did it all. I had the skeleton, and I came up with the rest.
It was really Claudia's idea, though.
It really was.
Melissa came up with the slogan, but Claudia came up with the idea.
So the Nerd Herd shows up, the little focus group, and they're all like, oh my god, it's like a Playboy bunny. I can't believe I'm actually talking to her.
Yeah.
No. So then they go visit the men's group, and they could see right away what a crappy leader Scott is.
He can't control a team. He was disorganized.
It was a waste of
the focus group's time.
It was a waste of time. They didn't get anything accomplished whatsoever.
It was a cluster F.
So, yeah, the men's team, the character is the customer. I forgot who came up with that gem.
I don't know.
But I didn't really agree with that.
That was okay, though. That wasn't the main problem.
Well, Scott is not having a good time with Tom.
Tom was doing the smart thing, though. He was looking up names that started with a Z.
Because he knew Z was their brand.
You've got to utilize the Z.
Right. So, Scott, all of a sudden, I don't know where he pulled out EEE. I thought, it sounds like ecstasy almost. Why would you do that when it's a Z that is the selling brand?
He claimed it was like everywhere, every time, everything or something.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
That was just stupid.
It
just
didn't work.
Really, really stupid.
It's really confusing when you have a prominent letter like Z, and then you bring out like a triple E. It doesn't make sense.
What is that, a bra size?
That's what Tom said.
I know. So,
and Tom had a valid point.
Yeah, he really did.
He was so against that name. But Scott was like,
Scott apparently does not know how to pitch things, and that's why he was so turned off by what Tom was doing.
Yeah.
This is what Tom does.
Yeah.
Respect.
So then...
Claudia came down with something. I don't know what it was, but I was definitely feeling her pain because I think I have a sinus infection right now.
So she was
pleasant.
like, can I go home early, please?
Yeah, and Melissa was like, oh, we need to get you home. Yeah.
I think so, too.
I think so, too,
especially
because she wasn't doing
presenting
anything.
the next morning.
Exactly. So...
Annie Duke didn't like that.
No.
BTW.
Dennis Rodman is getting pissed with Clint.
Yeah.
It's like, what does the dude do? All he does is sing, and what do you sell, like 10,000 albums?
Oh!
Well, that's not true, but I could see his point, because Clint was being, like, very egotistical and everything, and I just can't stand that.
No.
So... Scott, I think, was getting desperate at the end, and at the last minute he was seeing the error of his ways. Either that, or he was figuring, well, if we lose the task, I could throw Tom under the bus if I let him present, and he craps it up.
Yeah.
So he got Tom to present the idea to the CEO. Mm-hmm. So at the presentations,
Claudia presented for the women. And she kind of tripped over some of her words.
She wasn't feeling well.
She pretty much threw it together, too, at the last minute.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't have a lot of time to rehearse.
All right, so she wasn't saying Zappos, and she was saying Zappo. I mean, come on, you get the idea.
That's kind of bad, though. That's
it
the
is.
Thing.
And that other girl, Natalie, was wearing the costume, and she was like, can I get the hell out of this thing? Right, like, in front of the CEO after the presentation? Not sitting too well with that. So Tom, I thought, did an amazing presentation.
I did too.
Even though the stupid character was named EEE. Which I still don't get.
No.
So, the guy Tony from Zappos really liked both of the presentations.
So he said.
Right, but the glaring mistake was the triple E. It's not a bra size. It's not representing Zappos.
It's not ecstasy.
No.
Alright, so Boardroom. Scott's all like, oh, I had a lot of trouble with Tom.
Yeah, no shit.
Tom had a lot of trouble with you.
Exactly. Nobody talked about how Tom had to put up with Scott.
Yeah.
Scott was being very, very, very unreasonable.
However,
yes.
On the other team, I thought Khloe did a really good job.
I thought she did too. She had a slow start, like Joan said, but she really came into her own.
She really pulled it together, and I like that.
And I think it was a big mistake that Joan wasn't allowed to write. Or that Annie, like, Annie and Joan butt heads, Tom and Scott butted heads, and nobody liked Clint.
Too many chiefs in the tribe.
Nobody liked Clint except for Scott. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So Melissa even tried to get, Mr. Trump, I came up with the idea.
And Khloe was like, no, Claudia came up with the skeleton for that.
That's right. So we find out that Donald, back in the day, tried to pick up Brandy.
What?
Oh, Donald.
Awkward.
I know, it was awkward. So the women won.
Mm-hmm.
And they got $20,000 for the Brent Shapiro Organization, which is trying to find a cure for drug addiction.
Cool.
Good charity. So, in the men's boardroom, it's Tom versus Scott, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Scott's idea was just stupid.
And Tom was unmanageable.
Yeah, sure he was.
So, they're going down the line. Who do you think should be fired? Blah, blah, blah. And Herschel's all like, I want Tom out.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I said, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up, Tom.
Maybe he just didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah, exactly, because it's totally shut up.
Yes.
So Dennis wants Scott out.
He said he's too soft and we're not on the ice.
Yeah. And Jessie said, I want Clint out. And what did
Trump
Donald
was
say?
like, what the F did Clint do? He said that.
That was hilarious. So Scott, the stupidity continues. He takes Herschel and Tom into the boardroom. Because he only wanted to take Tom. And Donald was like, no, you got to take two. So he was like, yeah, I watched last year. So, well, good. Herschel was sent back because all he had to offer was like, I told him shut up.
Tom should go.
Yeah, exactly. So it came down to Scott wanted E.
And Tom didn't.
Yeah, so Scott, you fired.
Don't get me wrong, I love Scott's ice skating. I love his ice skating commentary.
I don't like his personality.
I don't like his business skills.
Or his personality at all.
Triple Axel. Okay. So, next week, the teams will be selling 250
my God.
wedding dresses.
Tom Green, you did not put on that wedding dress. That is hilarious. Rodman's missing in action.
Oh, and George is back.
I can't wait.
Love George.
Till next week. Much
love.
love.